Okay, 7th grade, here are just some more examples on how to simplify expressions by combining like terms. And the worksheet that you're going to get today has a whole bunch of these at the bottom of the worksheet. The top sections are just kind of to help you identify terms that are alike. You don't have to do anything with them other than to find the terms that are alike and then group them together in that first one. And then in that second section, you're just going to tell whether they are alike. And then the bottom section is going to be a bunch of simplifying. Now remember, simplifying an expression doesn't mean you're going to come down to one term. You might still have 2 terms or 3 terms, but sometimes you will have one term. So let's look at these examples. If you want to write these in your notebook, that's fine. You don't have to, but if it makes you feel better to have more examples, that's a good idea. All right, so I'm going to add my like terms together. So if I look, both terms have y, and so I'm going to combine their coefficients. And remember, that's adding the numbers in front. And since they're both negative, remember our sign always goes with it, I'm going to add and keep the same sign. So negative 3 plus negative 7 would be negative 10. And so I now have negative 10y. And that's it. Since they were both y's, we could add them together. Now look at this one. This one, we didn't do any like these yesterday, but you will see a few on your worksheet today. This time, each term, this is a whole term, and then this is a whole term. And each term has 2 variables together, x and y. But since each term has the exact same variables, x and y, together, then they are still like terms because their variables look the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine their coefficients. And remember, the coefficients is the number out in front, so I have a negative 2 and a positive 4, and I'm going to add those together. So negative 2 plus a positive 4, that equals a positive 2, and then I still have my xy with it. And that's it on that one. I have a few more examples. All right, so on this first one, I'm going to look for my like terms. And remember, constant numbers are always alike, so I have 12, and then I have a 1 over here all by itself. And so I'm just going to combine those together, and 12 plus 1 is 13. And then I'm going to look at my remaining, and I have positive 3x and negative 2x, and those are alike. So I'm going to combine those together. Coefficients are positive 3 and negative 2. And 3 plus negative 2 is a positive 1. So I'm going to write positive 1x, like that. Whoops. Yuck. There we go. X. So my final answer is 13 plus 1x. I can't change that into 14x because the 13 doesn't have an x. So they're not friends. They can just be in the same expression. So sometimes that is what your answer is going to look like. All right, looking at our next one, I have 4 terms this time, and I have 3 that have b's. So 14b plus 7b minus 2b. So I'll do them together. 14b plus 7b, that's 21b. And then if I did minus 2b there, I'm just going to say 21 minus 2, or 21 plus a negative 2, and that's 19b. So I've just combined all 3 of the b terms. And then that negative 8 is lonely. He doesn't have another friend. So we're just going to write minus 8 after the 19b. So that's it on that one. I did just think of something that I want to make sure you guys know. So sometimes you're going to see, let me make sure they're on here before I do it. Yes. Sometimes you're going to see a letter that looks like he's by himself. So say I have 2x minus 3 plus x. Okay. Now I see that x over there. It doesn't look like he has a coefficient. He doesn't have a number in front, right? So what that means is that we can see that there's an x there. So when the coefficient is a 1, a lot of times they won't put it because it's understood that if there's an x, then we have 1x. So anytime you see a letter by itself, you can always just put a 1 right in front of it. Okay? And I know we didn't talk about that yesterday, and you're going to see some x's and letters by themselves. And if you see that, that means there's 1 of them. So here, to combine these like terms, I'm going to circle my 2x and my x. So 2x plus x, which is a 1x, remember, is 3x now. Okay? And then that negative 3 is by itself, so it's just going to come down here and be minus 3. That's it. You can't do anything else to it. So I'm going to do one more like that. So say I had 14 plus x plus 2 minus x. Okay? So my like terms are my constant numbers, that 14 and my plus 2. So I'm going to combine those together and get 16. And now if I look at my letters, I have a positive x and a negative x. Now positive x is like saying 1x, okay, and minus x is like saying minus 1x, because anytime a letter is by itself, there's always like a 1 in front of it. Now if I said positive 1 minus 1, I'm going to get 0. So these two actually just completely cancel out. So 0x is just 0. So if you wrote plus 0x, you can do that, but you don't need to, because this means 0 times whatever x is. So this whole thing becomes 0 and can just go away. So this expression right here actually simplifies down to 16 because the x's cancel out. So sometimes you might have, if you have 4y minus 10 minus 4y plus 2x. Okay, so this is the same kind of thing. My 4y and my minus 4y are alike, but because it's 4 minus 4, that turns it into 0y, which means that completely goes away, just like what we do when we do those in equations. So I'm left with my negative 10, that's a constant, and my positive 2x, that has a variable. Those are not like terms, so all I can do is write negative 10 plus 2x, and then that is my answer, and I don't have any y's left because they went away, they canceled out. That's it. I hope that's helpful, and work on your worksheet, do some corrections if you have them, make sure you turn them in, and listen and be good. I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.